Hi, I'm George Maestri, and today we're going to take a look at how to create bevels in SketchUp. And we're going to take a look at both outside and inside bevels. So we're going to take a look at how to do a half round around the outside, as well as a route or an inside bevel along the inside to create this shape. So let's go ahead and start off with a very simple object. I have a file called bevels.sketchup, and it's basically just a box. So what we're going to do is create an outside bevel first, and then we'll do the inside bevel second. So to create the outside bevel, we first need to define the depth of that bevel. Then we need to draw the shape of the bevel, and then we will create it. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and create an offset that will determine the depth of that bevel. So I can do that by using my offset tool. I'm going to select that, go on to this big face here, and let's create a 1/2 inch bevel. So I'm going to just bring this close to the edge. In fact, we could just type in 0.5 inches, and that creates a line that's a 1/2 inch in along that face. And next I need to create a shape for the bevel. But before I do that, I want to group this, and that's because I'm going to draw that shape on this object, and I don't want that new shape to stick to it. So I'm going to select all of these objects, and we'll just do Edit, Make Group. Now I want to draw basically a quarter round outline right here, but I want to make sure that it lines up with this edge. So I'm going to select my tape measure tool, snap to this edge, and then left click and drag along the green axis. And as you can see, it creates this nice guideline. And we can use this guideline to create our quarter round. And I'm going to do that using a 2-point arc. So I'm going to select 2-point arc. I'm going to snap to this intersection, snap to this edge here, and just make sure everything is tangent. And that should be a quarter round. Now, the reason I grouped that object before I drew this was so that I can do this, and that's move that away from the object so that it doesn't stick. And we want this to be separate. So that's one of the other reasons why I grouped it, is because I want this shape to be separate. Now that I have this shape, I need to close it. So I'm going to go ahead and select my line tool and just draw from endpoint to endpoint and create a shape here. Okay, and now this is going to be our cutting tool that we're going to use to create the bevel. Now to create the bevel, the first thing I need to do is ungroup this. So I'm going to go ahead and select this object, and let's just do Edit, Solid Group, Explode. And so now I've gone ahead and ungrouped it. And now I need to select this inside edge as a path, and we can do that by selecting this face and double-clicking on it, and that selects both the face and the edge. And now we get to use our Follow Me tool. So I'm going to go into Tools, Follow Me, and then you can see how the cursor changes, and I'm going to highlight the shape that I drew and then just left-click on it. Now notice how something changed, but we can't quite see exactly what happened. And the reason for this is that it drew the bevel inside the object. In fact, if I go into View, Face Style, X-Ray, you can kind of see what happened. You can see that, yes, I do have that bevel, but I also have the original geometry. So this technique did not actually erase the original geometry, but we can do that very easily by using our eraser tool. So I'm going to go ahead back into Face Style, turn off X-Ray, and let's go ahead and select our eraser tool. So you can notice that when I start erasing these edges, it's starting to reveal that edge. So I'm going to go ahead and just start erasing these. And if you're really good, you can position your eraser right above the intersection of these and try and get two at once. There we go. And get that one. Okay, so I think that's it. So now that I have this, oh, there's one more. Okay, so let's go ahead back into our eraser tool and get that. Okay. So now, as you can see, we've got our beveled edge. Now let's go ahead and create an interior bevel. And we're going to use almost the same technique. So the first thing I want to do is create an interior outline. So in this case, I'm going to use my offset tool again. And let's go ahead and bring that offset in just a little bit. And in this case, I'm not going to worry too much about dimensions. And then let's go ahead and create an arch along the top here. So I'm going to use my 2-point arc tool and create something that looks a little bit like this. And then I'm going to erase both of these. So now I have my path. And again, I want to draw an outline and run that outline along the path using Follow Me. So we're going to use pretty much the same technique. I'm going to create a guideline using my tape measure tool. So I'm going to highlight this edge, left click, drag along the green axis, and there we go. And then I'm going to draw my outline. So again, I'm going to use my 2-point arc. I'm going to draw across here. Now, depends on how big you want this. I'm just going to make it reasonably small. And then I want to go down in the blue axis. So I'm going to hold my up arrow key to make sure I snap to blue. And there's my outline. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and close this using the line tool. And now we can draw our bevel. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on this to highlight the edge. Tools, Follow Me, and then select this. And as you can see, it's used that to create a route or an inside bevel along that edge. So as you can see, the Follow Me tool is very powerful in creating things such as bevels. And hopefully you can use these techniques to add a lot more life to your models.